Hi, Alka. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Well, we are all back on track. Yay.
Fantastic. Glad the tech is working. That's brilliant.
The tech is working, and I think it was a security upgrade thing that kind of just
Through you. Yes.
Yeah.
Picks its moments, right?
It does, when everything's just gone like absolutely fine last time, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly it's what?
We are at the mercy of IT. Two little words that really have us, don't they?
They do. They do. Love it, hate it.
Yep.
Love it and hate it.
Need it though, right?
Yeah. Okay, so everyone, we are coming back, and with me I have the lovely Dr. Alka Patel, looking absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
So as you may know, Alka specialises in lifestyle medicine, which is something you're hearing more and more about. You know, it's not about popping pills, it's what you do in everyday life, it's your habits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And what she's going to be talking about is how to be burnout proof, which is, I think I said probably about a little while ago, is what an awful lot of therapists are prone to becoming, just as much in the medical profession, any of the caring professions, in fact, really, truthfully.
Yeah, pick its targets, it's everybody.
Yeah. So Alka is a sought after TEDx speaker. Look up her talk, her TEDx talk, it's great. She's a GP, lifestyle doctor, coach, author, podcaster, and she amplifies health as a skill and an asset so that inspired individuals and bold businesses can create compassionate lifestyle changes for happy, healthy living and connected workplace wellness. So what she really loves to do is empower and equip individuals, organizations to connect to their DNA, which is discover, notice and activate who they are, what they want and where they are going. So I'm going to turn over to Alka in a minute. If you've got any questions for Alka, then obviously either just pop them in the Q&A box if you're on Zoom, or in the chat box, or you can even just pop them in the Facebook comments. So Alka, over to you. Really looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rosemary. It was a really lovely introduction to me, so appreciate that so much. So yes, today we are talking about burnout. It is that word, isn't it? It sees us, I think, sort of dropping our shoulders and drawing into ourselves and keeping our heads down. But today, I really want us to be uplifted. I want us to be fired up by our passion for our work and certainly not burnt out by it. So by the end of today, what I'm hoping is that you will know exactly how to do that. So I thought I would take you through 5 of the most common questions I get asked about burnout. So let's kick off. The first and most obvious question I get asked is, of course, what is burnout? Because we talk about it so much, but actually I think its definition really does need clarifying. So here is the definition. Burnout is a constellation of detrimental psychological and physiological effects that are caused by your work and your relationship to your work. I'm sure some of that is resonating with you. So I just want you to pause here because there's just 5 key words that I want you to remember. So the first word in that definition is detrimental. Burnout is not helpful, right? Second word is psychological, because burnout affects your emotional well-being. It shifts your mindset. The third important word is physiological, because the hormones that you release, the chemical mediators, the neurotransmitters, these all change in burnout, which then, of course, not only affects your emotional well-being, but triggers a whole range of physical symptoms with it as well. Fourth word, work. It's a work-related phenomenon. You cannot be burnt out by what's going on in the whole of life. Burnout is work-specific, and I think that's really important to remember. And the fifth important word is relationship. Burnout is triggered by the connection that you have with your work. So just to start off, just think about those keywords. Now, the second question I get asked a lot is burnout the same as stress? And again, we use both these words a lot. Burnout often gets talked about in the same breath as stress, and that's because it often starts as stress. But burnout and stress are two different things. And again, I think it's really important to understand the distinction here. So stress involves too much pressure, too much demand on you physically and mentally. Stress is over engagement. But burnout is about not enough, feeling empty, feeling mentally exhausted, feeling devoid of motivation. Burnout is disengagement. So just think about those two differences. Are you feeling on edge with too much pressure, or are you feeling devoid of motivation? And according to the World Health Organization, there's 3 key features of burnout to think about. So think about these elements. The first element is emotional exhaustion. Do you feel that your emotions and your feelings have become somewhat depleted? The second element is depersonalization. Are you feeling detached from what's around you, detached from people, detached from places? And the third element is lack of personal accomplishment. Has your sense of achievement and satisfaction from your work, has it taken a dip? So if you're answering yes to even one of these, then that is burnout showing itself. Okay, third most common question I get asked is, what are the warning signs of burnout that I should not ignore? And this is where I want you to think about your A, B, C. So A is autonomy. Burnout starts to infringe on your autonomy, your sense of control and your sense of choice over what you do. That starts to become undermined or limited or restricted, and you don't have a say on what's going on, whether that's your volume of work or your type of work. There's some sort of misalignment between your own core values and the values of your workplace. You lose that sense of identity. You're losing your autonomy. B is belonging. Now, we all need to feel connected, don't we? Part of something bigger than us, experience fairness and trust and value and reward. And when that gets eroded, when you feel you don't belong, that is a pathway to burnout. And the C is competence, because being good and feeling good about what we do, that provides our internal motivation. It energizes us. And when there's work overload, or work becomes too urgent or too demanding, and your feeling of competence falls, then that is burnout on your heels. So if you lose your ABC, you'll feel like you're not in control. You'll feel like you're not a part, and you'll feel not good enough. So again, think about whether any of that is resonating. Now, of course, there's no specific diagnostic test for burnout, but I'd like to maybe challenge all of you listening today, because I think that you already know if you are in the burnout zone, test or no test, because the telltale signs are already there. You don't want them to be there, but just pause and you will see them. Is there that precision timetabling of your day so that you can squeeze everything that you can into it? Is there incessant clock watching, sacrifice of sleep so that you increase your awake time to just get one more thing done? Are you never asking for help? Have you got that indignant independence to do it all? Are you noticing the skipping of meals? Are you noticing the compensatory eating or those jolting micro sleeps? Are you feeling the exhaustion, the drain, the emptiness, side by side with all that standard setting to be an exceptional parent, an exceptional spouse, an exceptional friend, an exceptional professional? So just think about all of that. You don't need a computer to give you a diagnosis. You don't need a doctor like me to give you a diagnosis. You just need to tune into yourself and give yourself permission to see the signs and take your next best step. And what is your next best step? Well, your next best step is to have a plan, a burnout plan. This is your 3R plan. Recognize, recover, reframe. So let's just talk about the first R then, recognize. To recognize burnout, think about your emotions and your behaviors and your physical signs. So are you experiencing any of these emotions? Perhaps feelings of failure, feeling helpless, feeling detached, having self-doubt, loss of motivation, a negative outlook, a decreased sense of satisfaction. Has your behavior changed? Are you withdrawing from responsibilities, isolating yourself from others? Perhaps procrastinating, taking longer to get things done. Maybe you've turned to food or drugs or alcohol simply to cope. And what about physical signs? Have you noticed persistent fatigue, recurrent illness, headaches, muscle pains, changing your appetite, poor sleep? Just tune in and recognize these signs. The first R. So, fourth most common question I get asked is, when do I need to act on burnout? The answer is very, very simple. Intervention starts right now. So if you're already resonating with any of these signs of burnout that I've shared so far today, then of course, intervention starts now. If you're feeling stressed and feeling that precursor of burnout, because stress often tips us into burnout, intervention starts now. And if you're living life passionate about what you do and loving the go, 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 intervention still starts now, because it is often that fire of our passion that later burns us, because no one is immune from burnout. We haven't got a burnout vaccine on its way, but we know that we can knock the fire right out of burnout. Without a flame, there is no fire. And you need intervention that is going to stop you self-igniting. Yes, you can become fireproof and become burnout proof. And here's how. Because the fifth question that I get asked is, how can I prevent or reverse burnout? And this is where I would like you to think about the second R of burnout, which is recover. So maybe let's take an analogy here. So I'd like you to start by thinking about what happens when you exercise. What we do when we exercise is we actually oscillate through two states, stress and recovery. When we stress a muscle during exercise, we know that it breaks down. And when we allow muscle recovery, we know that it increases the capacity of the muscle to actually do more than it was possible to do before. It performs so much better. And you also know that if you endlessly apply stress to a muscle without recovery, you will injure it, you will become weak. And if you don't stress the muscle at all, the muscle atrophies and becomes weak. So the enemy is not the stress. You may have all seen that Yerkes-Dodson bell-shaped curve of stress, because we all need a bit of stress activation in our life. The enemy, as I said, is not stress. The enemy is the failure to oscillate, to move between stress and recovery. And you have to apply recovery to your work, because burnout in the workplace, think of it as being the equivalent of overtraining. If you ask any professional athlete, you just don't make gains without the recovery, and it's the injury that sets you back. And that's why the key to avoiding burnout is to leverage oscillation. Ensure that you have recovery. Now, I'm not just talking about the sort of recovery where you plonk in front of the TV or have a lie-in at the weekend or scroll mindlessly through social media. That is not recovery. That is just an attempt at disengagement. What I'm talking about is active recovery, to re-energize and rejuvenate. And you do this by focusing with intention on your lifestyle. And this is where I want you to use the Lifestyle First Method. It's my beautiful acronym for what my 20 years as a doctor has taught me are the why did I say three, are the 10 key dimensions of health and happiness, of productivity and purpose, because that's pretty much what we all want, isn't it? We all want to be happy in the moment, happy with everlasting fulfillment. We all want to be healthy with energy and vitality. Of course, we all want to be productive in what we do, and we all want to be purposeful and intentional in our actions. So to recover from burnout, to reverse burnout, and to develop that resilience to prevent it, use the Lifestyle First Method, which means getting to the roots of life, thinking about life's purpose, identity, food, exercise, sleep, time out, your connections, learning habits, and your emotions. And first of all, your commitment to your self-care. So let me now just give you a brief overview of the Lifestyle First Method. So L is life's purpose. Define your purpose and passion in your life, because your life's purpose, it's that central motivating aim of your life, isn't it? The reason you get up in the morning. Now, your vocation may offer this purpose to you, but think about what are the specific aspects of your work that do fire up that passion without burning you out. Focus on this. Find those aspects of your work that provide you with value. Take time perhaps to think about your hopes and your goals and your dreams. Maybe you're neglecting something that is truly important to you. So thinking about your life's purpose can really be an opportunity to rediscover what makes you happy and to slow down and give yourself time to rest and reflect. I is identity. Now, having a strong sense of identity links very, very closely with your behaviors and your actions. That is neuroplasticity. Your brain changes with your thoughts. So be the person you want to be. Create a daily affirmation. I am organized. I am creative. I am thriving. I am starts to change your brain network. And set boundaries. Don't overextend yourself, and just learn how you can say no to requests on your time. If you find it difficult, just remind yourself that saying no allows you to then say yes to exactly what you need to make the commitments that tune in with your values. F is food. We love talking about food. So develop a focus on food as nutrition, on food as energy, on food as a gateway to health, because we of course know that food is a very important determinant of health, and we get to choose every single mouthful. What you put in your body can have a huge impact on your mood and your energy levels through the day. Foods, of course, have been shown to boost mood. So fruit and vegetables, what do? They inhibit monoamine oxidase, and this results in increasing your serotonin and your dopamine levels, your happy chemicals. And seeds such as sesame seeds or sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds, they can also help because they contain tryptophan, the building block of serotonin, our feel-good chemical. E is exercise. Daily activity is such a key way to keep revitalized. Move in a way that you enjoy. A 10-minute walk, we know even that has shown to improve your mood for up to 2 hours. And try mindful exercise. Instead of focusing on your stresses, focus on your body and how it feels as you move, the sensation perhaps of your feet hitting the ground or the wind on your skin. S is sleep. And this is where you need to focus on your rhythms that then fit with your work patterns. Set that alarm for a fixed bedtime. Have that wind down routine. Simple things like avoiding coffee after midday or ignoring digital gadgets an hour before you go to bed can make so much difference. And there is so much that you can do to enhance the quality and quantity of your sleep. T is time out. This is where you rest, relax, and recharge and create that reflective space. Focus on the moment. Try 1 minute meditation. Try journaling. It's so liberating. A place perhaps to write down ideas and feelings and thoughts and goals and affirmations and gratitude. And what about a digital detox? Try a 15-minute daily break from technology. Set a time each day when you completely disconnect. Put away your laptop, turn off your phone, stop checking email. And what about nourishing your creative side? Trying something new, a fun project, resuming a favorite hobby. Just choose activities that have nothing to do with work. And of course, there are relaxation techniques that tap into your neurological systems, that tap into your parasympathetic relaxation response, yoga, meditation, deep breathing. Okay, why? Why is your connection? Stay connected. Again, we know that social connectivity is directly related to health outcomes. So do activities with others. Reach out to friends and family, engage with colleagues at work, connect with a cause or a community group that is meaningful to you. L, we're nearly there. L is learning habits. Habits is how you put action into motion. So start really, really small and watch that ripple effect. What is one thing that you can do with consistency starting today? Try and finish this sentence. When I, ... I will. And E is emotions. This is that focus of tuning into positive psychology, that contentment with your past, happiness in your present, and hope for your future. And first of all, of course, you need to decide how committed you are to your self-care, because it is your self-care that is going to put you in a state of recovery. And we need recovery throughout our timeline. So the first thing that you should do to reverse or prevent burnout is to chart your active recovery protocol. So use all these elements in the Lifestyle First method to create a timeline. Something like this. So think about annually, once a year, book in your leave, take 2 weeks off, have something to look forward to because anticipation makes us happy. Quarterly, once a quarter, take a long break, have a 4-day week. Don't go so long for a stretch of work. Take that quarterly time to tap into your purpose, be curious about yourself, reflect on your values, and really reach into your core, into the nucleus of your life by understanding your unique DNA. Discover, notice, and activate who you are, what you want, and where you are going. Monthly, once a month, stay connected. Who do you want to be around? Choose your circle, diarize your plans to connect. Weekly, every week, plan your meals, fuel up on fiber so that you can feed your gut bugs, and in turn, they will supply you with all the serotonin you need for that uplift. Daily, every day, build in recovery time. How do you do that? Through sleep. Sleep is active recovery. It is an active state when you're consolidating information, laying down memory, allowing your cells to heal, slowing down that activation of your amygdala, your emotional zone. So don't compromise on your 8 hours. What else every day? Do breath work every day. Trigger your parasympathetic nervous system for that state of relaxation. Write a gratitude journal. Laugh with your kids. Don't scroll on your phone mindlessly in the evening. Step out into the sunlight and tune in with your circadian rhythm. Do this every single day. Hourly, every hour, stop, refocus, reset, take 6 deep breaths, stroke your pet, hydrate, stand up, shake, move, and stretch it out. And in the moment, in every moment, keep focused on your values to just pull you back into the life you want. That is the Lifestyle First method. That is your active recovery protocol. And the final R in the 3 R's of burnout is reframe. Change your state. Create a mental shift. Do a cognitive reframe to view your work situation in a different light. Change that relationship with your work. And here's 3 questions that you can ask yourself that will help with that. So number 1 is ask yourself, what do I look most forward to at work? Second question you can ask is, what would I not want to stop doing? And third question, where do I provide most value and help to others at work? And yes, of course, do all of that internal work, but address the issues that enable your situation to change as well, whether that's workload, delegation, breaks, having those conversations with others so that those practical elements of your work change too. And share your vulnerability. There's a 4th bonus R to your recovery protocol, which is R for reach out. We have to be able to share our vulnerability. So maybe think about this. If we shared our vulnerability, we wouldn't feel so vulnerable. If we didn't feel so vulnerable, we'd feel more courageous. If we felt more courageous, we'd ask for more help. If we asked for more help, we'd be able to share our vulnerability. So reach out to friends, family, colleagues, professionals like me, reach out. So I'm going to close up and sum up now. So what have we talked about? We've talked about the warning signs of burnout. Remember your ABC, loss of autonomy, belonging, and competence. We've talked about how to be burnout proof with the 3R plan. Recognize, recover, reframe. Recognize the emotions, actions, and physical signs of burnout. Don't ignore the signs. Recover using the Lifestyle First method to make changes in those 10 key dimensions of health and happiness and productivity and purpose. And create a recovery timeline, annually, quarterly, monthly, hourly, in the moment. And reframe your relationship with work. Reset your mindset. And the bonus R we talked about was reach out. And you are, of course, very welcome to reach out to me. Just head over to my website, it's dralkapatel.com, or find me on social media at Dr. Alka Patel UK. And just to let you know, I'm soon launching a membership as well, which will help with exactly everything we've been talking about today, helping you to synergize your life with stress modifying and age reversing techniques so that you can live your life with intention and vitality and energy and be burnout proof. So do reach out. So it has been my absolute pleasure and privilege to be with you here today. So I wish you all a happy, healthy, productive, purposeful day. And if there are any questions, Rosemary, happy to answer those.
Okay, we haven't had some come up before. I think people have been listening very intently to you, Alka. And I think just as a reflection, I think one of the really refreshing things is to say that, to sum up, what you're saying is really that if you know what works for your body, your muscles, you know actually what works to manage your life, because it's all the same.
Yeah. And it is very much about tuning in. We tend to ignore those telltale signs because there is sometimes this feeling of stigma attached to burnout. I haven't talked about that today, but nobody wants to really admit they're burnt out or stressed. But the signs are there, and if you ignore those small cracks become big fissures, don't they? So I think that's the key thing, isn't it? Is really tuning in. Your mind and body will tell you exactly what they need, but we don't want to be self-sabotaging. So that's really, really key, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think that is probably the first step for people who don't tune in to tune in. And it's what do you think if you were giving people tips who haven't thought, well, I don't know if I tune in, because there are some people who don't tune in, they really don't.
Yeah.
What do you think might be the kind of simplest way for them to tune in? If they were to say to you, Alka, I don't know how to tune in.
Yeah.
Even if other people can see it, it's like a blazing light all around someone that's saying, you're really burning out, but the person can't see it.
Yeah.
What?
That's such an interesting question, Rosemary. So what would I say? Probably maybe two things. One, I would say create the time. So because we're human doings, we're not human beings, actually. We should be renamed because we're so next thing. So I would say carve out, commit to just 15 minutes where you are going to tune in. So that's the first thing. And the second, which is really, really powerful, is taking thought through your arm, through your fingers, through a pen onto paper. There's something that is very, very powerful about actually going from the muddle of what am I actually tuning into to writing down. So almost this sort of, I call it a brain dump if you want, but spend those 15 minutes just writing out without pause, without having to overthink exactly how you're feeling or what's gone on in the day or what thoughts are coming on your mind. And if you do that without any judgment, no need to think about your grammar or your punctuation, and just write, that is what is going to tell you what your signals are. So that's a really useful exercise. And I use that quite a lot, and people are often very amazed by what comes up. And so, if you don't want to do that for 15 minutes, set yourself a 60-second buzzer. Everyone has got 60 seconds in their day to do this, and try that and you'll see what will come up.
Because I mean, that's the thing that people say, oh, I can't do that. I haven't got time. I haven't got time. I haven't got time. Well, as you said, they've got the time when they're endlessly scrolling through their phones. And I'm not immune to this.
Yes, of course. So it's about priority, isn't it? We all have the same number of seconds in every day, but what is at the top of your priority list? And it always comes back to your values and your intention and your purpose. If you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, you will take the absolute steps that you need to prioritize yourself. And, in our sort of altruistic roles, therapy, medicine, there's so many of them. We're always very, very busy giving. And people will say this all the time, you can't pour from an empty cup, but you've also got to know, what are you filling your cup with? So I always use this analogy of if me and you are walking opposite ends and bumped into each other. If my cup is full of coffee, I'm going to spill coffee on you. If my cup is full of tea, I'm going to spill tea on you. If my cup is full of positive energy, helping you, I'll spill that onto you. But if I haven't got a cup full of what I need, then my cup can't possibly give you what you need either. So again, really important to think about, what do I need to do for me that is going to enable me to pass that on to everybody that I meet? And that's really important.
I think that's a really lovely view of creating something that can spill over other people, and actually then go, because we all want to spill something lovely over other people. Yeah. And I love that, because then we're really thinking about, I need to make sure that my cup is full of something delicious.
Yeah. And we often sort of move away from that because we think we can't spend time on ourselves because it becomes all about me. And it isn't. It's again back to that. It's that spillover of everything that you want for that bigger purpose, don't you? So you have to start with yourself, back to that self-compassion for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've put your website in the comments. I'll put it on Facebook as well. It's been absolutely delightful, Alka.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. As I said, I'm very, very happy for people to get in touch. Sometimes you might have a simple question and you're hesitant to reach out, but that's probably the most important thing, is this sense that, even though we may be the professionals always giving out advice and giving out care, actually just reach out for yourself as well. So yeah, people are very, very welcome to tap into me for anything. Yeah.
Brilliant. Alka, thank you so much.
You're welcome. See you, Rosemary.
Thank you. Bye, Alka. So we've now got a lunch break because we are following Alka's advice and having time to relax and recover. We're back at 2:30 with Joanna, who's a martial arts expert as well as having been a therapist, so she's got some really useful things on self-defense, and even the legal aspects of physical defense, but also